back, Deadites and Ghost Beaters. Today we're going to talk about the leader class, and we're going to break it down for you in case you've never played a leader or you just got the game and you're kind of wondering what's the leader class all about. But this is going to make a good idea for you knowing what's the difference between the three of them, where you need to unlock them if you haven't done that yet, and what makes Annie different from Ash or Ash different from Arthur, so that way you can choose the character that fits your playstyle. Now, of course, if you like this Evil Dead content, please drop a like and a comment on the video below. It really does help the channel, and of course I answer all the comments, as well as smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell for all Evil Dead horror content. And if you're looking for a community to play with, click on the link in the description below. The Discord is there. There is a group of people, all love horror, all love Evil Dead. They're playing the game, so you don't have to play with randoms, because as we're hitting almost a 2-week mark, we know how horrible that is. Today we're going to look at who is the right leader for you, regardless if you've just started out the game, or even playing another class or character, or just want to build up another character in case the party you're in steals your only level 25. Now, as you know, unlike other games, you cannot play as the same character as someone else in your party. Now, that doesn't include Ash's, because there's 4 of them and they all count as unique characters. So say, for example, you only have 125 and someone grabs it, you'll be rocking a level 1 character in PvP matches, so it's not a whole lot of fun. Now, there is 3 things to consider when choosing your first leader. Who are you playing with? What is your preferred playstyle? And finally, do you care about meta builds and rankings? Now, the thing in particular that makes leaders fun to play and far more unique than every other class in the game is their auras, and that is the ability to affect other teammates and themselves in different ways to make the whole party within the aura stronger, able to do more damage, those pesky Deadites. Of course, we have 3 different leaders, and 2 of them are going to be unlocked from the mission, so if you haven't unlocked them all, I'll include links in the description below for both how to do the walkthrough for if you love someone, set it free with a chainsaw, or Mission 1, or Mission 5, Homecoming King, so you can lock Ash versus Evil Dead Ash, as well as Lord Arthur from Army of Darkness. Otherwise, you're just going to have the default of Annie Nobi. She is the only leader that is unlocked at start. So we're going to start with Annie's, based on the fact that I know she is definitely in your roster, regardless of whether you've touched the missions or not, and she's basically the best friend to all hunters. So for this video, I'm going to refer to the action button, or depending on what you play, is when you pop your ability and then you're able to do something for X amount of time, you know, not including different cooldowns. And so Annie's action ability is hit him where it hurts. It increases the range damage to all within her aura, and that even includes her. But the best thing about it is it also stacks with her normal perk Howitzer, which is her passively increases the damage to all within the aura. And it does indeed stack with hit him while it's hurt when it's popped. So once you pop your ability, you get both boosts to your range damage. At level 10, she gets her ability Haymaker, which means all within her aura can do more balance bar damage to basic units, and finally at 25 she gets Slugger, which is the same thing except for elites and bosses, where you do a ton of balance bar damage. That makes her a DPS boosting machine for all hunters, of course, while you're doing all that range damage. But if you're running with, you know, solid DPS melee monsters, you're still getting all that balance bar damage and high stuns to all the bosses, the elite demons, the basic demons. So your hunters can kind of scoop around the side and pick them off while your melee monsters go in and lock them down. And she makes her a very solid character who isn't going to overpower anyone, but you're not going to regret playing her. Now, I still have her listed as the 3rd best on my initial list of all the leaders, but I have no complaints. If you're playing Annie, you're probably enjoying her. Now, after Annie, you've probably completed the first mission. If you haven't, you can go out and get him. It's Ash versus Evil Dead Ash. And he's really the jack of all trades type of character. He's not excelling at anything. He's not really detrimental at anything. And he's going to get boost to both melee and ranged. And your party construction really doesn't matter. So if you're playing, you know, Ash versus Evil Dead Ash or Leader Ash, you can really run with whatever group. Although I will say he does kind of give a boost to hunters, only because they seem to be more susceptible for fear, and they do greatly benefit from his aura reducing fear intake. So speaking of Ash's perks, let's start with his first one, which is his actionable perk, and that is Show Up and Blow Up, which basically means you just pop it and you basically explode this AoE damage. Everything in a range all receives damage. It's pretty easy. His second perk is his passive, which is Hefe, which increases the both ranged and melee DPS within his radius, as well as greatly reduces the amount of incoming fear received by members. And it really seems to be helpful for those hunters who are pretty lacking in fear resistance. At level 10, he gets Hello Old Friend. Basically, he just starts with a chainsaw. And finally, at level 25, he gets El Jefe Grande, which is boosts his aura for when finishers or dismemberments are increased, so temporarily increases the ranged and melee DPS by 100%. Finally, you get to the character that I love. As we probably know, I main Lord Arthur, but we are doing other characters now. And I still think he's probably, if not the best, second best character in the entire game. And that's Lord Arthur, who you get from Mission 5, Homecoming King. He is, of course, locked behind the last current mission, which sucks. And if you can't get that mission done, like I said, I have the mission walkthrough included to show you how to get Arthur to your roster. Now, Arthur is an absolute melee monster and makes everyone around him hit like a truck. So if you want to get up close and personal, he's your leader of choice. He's arguably the best character in the game. He starts with his actionable, and that is Lord Arthur's Wrath. And we'll start with his action, and that is Lord's Wrath, which is probably the best perk in the game when activated. The only thing that can kind of rival it is probably ammo for days. But, I mean, Lord's Wrath is really damn good. And so basically how Lord's Wrath works is when it's activated, it increases melee damage for everyone in his aura, regardless of whether it's Arthur or someone else. It decreases Arthur's fear. It doesn't work on everyone else. And if Arthur is using a sword, it doubles the damage based on the weapon. So it's pretty ridiculous. Now, here's the thing. You're like, well, what if I don't have a sword? Arthur always starts with a sword because his other starting perk is Weapon Master Heavy Melee. So basically, all heavy melee is boosted, and he, of course, has a sword to start. Then his next perk at level 10 is Weapon Master Light Melee. So no matter what way you hit them, he is hitting them like a truck. And then finally, he adds Fuel to the Fire, which in tandem works with Lord's Wrath. So basically how it works is every time you do a finisher while Lord's Wrath is up, you just added 3 seconds to it. So you just basically go around and can chain finishers. You're already going to spec into high balance damage, so that way you're getting the stun, so you activate the finishers, and you just basically go off crushing everyone. And I'll tell you one thing, a great healer for Lord Arthur is actually Evil Dead 1 Ash, since his healing works on leech based on heavy attacks. So basically, Evil Dead 1 Ash punches something with a heavy melee, he gets returned from that. And of course, by boosting that heavy melee, it increases the damage. And there you have it. That is the 3 different leaders and what they're capable of and how they work. I will be honest, all of them are really good. And don't be afraid to play a leader with a leader, because their auras do indeed stack. If someone's playing Lord Arthur and you want to play Ash versus Evil Dead Ash, go ahead and do it. All you're going to do is double stack the melee damage, and you're going to get the boost to range as well, because that's part of Ash's perks. So you can get those double dips on the auras, which is a really good thing. Now, you always want to make sure there is a leader in the group. I've played matches without them, and it is really, really rough, because that freebie boost that comes from the passive of their aura is such a huge complement to whatever roster composition you've created. Now, I recommend in this order, Arthur, Ash, then Annie, but I'll be honest with you, all of them are really good. And as I play more and more of the game, I'm finding less and less weaknesses and seeing a lot more character balance across the board with these characters, which is really, really good to know, because you can only use one at a time. So if I'm an Arthur main and he's taken and I can't use Arthur, it sucks to know that I can't play another character that's going to be good, because it's going to be fine, because I'll hop over to whomever I'm going to play. And even if there is a drop-off because Arthur's the best, there's still going to be a lot of ability that's available in whatever character I choose. And as always, thanks for watching, and later, mates!